Guys, welcome back to another video here in the Alpha Pack shop. We are still currently messing with this 2013 RZR 800S 2.0 rebuild that we've been working on. This is my son's rig. If you haven't checked out what we've done up to now, go back and check out the previous vids, please. Anyway, I mentioned on the last vid that we were waiting on some clutch bolts. They came in. I got 8 of these suckers, so I can change this thing in and out 8 times, hopefully, maybe more if they won't snap in half on me again. But anyway, I just put an extra shim back here. I have 4 shims as of right now. And I had to like wallow out a shim thing I had. It just wasn't slight big enough, so I made it fit perfect. So anyway, now, I don't know if you can see that, we are dialed. It is right off of the back sheave. I mean, in a perfect world, you want it centered. Let's just show you here, but it is not hitting, and it is idling, and it's not spinning it. And then if you hit it, if you let off, it stops. Yep, that belt is dead center now after running in a second. So you want to align your secondaries, if possible, so that your belt rides on that one-way or two-way bearing, whatever one you have in your primary, center, so that your belt won't get all tore up very quickly and create a bunch of heat. So anyway, that's what we've done. We're going to run the clutches the way that they are currently, which I don't remember the weight size or grams, but I'll tell y'all whenever I figure that out. So we're going to figure out a high-speed run in high and low at some point soon with this current weight setup, and then we will change the weights to the heavier weights that came in it originally. And then I also have original primary and secondary setup for this unit. That's completely OEM. If we want, we can throw that on there and see what it'll do in high and low. And just kind of check all that out and see what's going on there. You know, I've changed the oil once. Just dumped it and put some fresh in there with a little bit extra zinc to help them lifters still. Have not taken that valve cover off to check that lifter or that rocker arm. It doesn't sound like it's lacking oil. It sounds fine. I'm not hearing any tapping or ticking in the motor or in the top end. So as of right now, I'm just going to keep it going like this. I probably will check it though before I put the back on it though. But anyway, I'm going to throw some things back on here, and we're going to go ahead and go for a test drive and see what she'll do. Well, we're not going for a test just yet, guys. Those tires over here, these Bog Maxes, are so whopped, my teeth are going to come out of my face as I go try to do a high-speed run. So we're going to take these Bog Maxes that I have sitting over here, BKTs. They were actually on it originally. We're going to stick them back on there to go for the testing because I like my teeth in my face. So anyway, as I jacked it up, I noticed this side came up a little bit sooner than the other side, and then this was all stretched out. So it looks like this is for a 50-inch wide RZR and not the 60-inch S model. So I have a lightly used, cheaper axle sitting over here. That's the correct length for this bike. So we're going to go ahead and throw that in there real quick before we go on the test. And so in a minute, we're about to have different axle and throw the 32-inch Bog Maxes on so that we then can go hit the road and see what's up then with this clutching. All right, let's go. So as I was just about to put this tire on the Ranger, this came off the RZR, I was noticing all the holes for this thing are not centered. They have a big difference from either side of every hole. This is that one, I believe, that was shaking the hell out of the bike, and I now see why if that ain't centered. These on this one on this side is centered. There's just as much, it looks like Randy done whopped these out a little bit. That's how it should look. But no, Randy, you done messed them up. Anyway, we're going to throw them on here anyway. And they're just rollers now. These rims are toast. So let me throw them on there, and then we're going to end up having the Bog Maxes on the RZR. All right, guys, I must be the most unlucky person to walk the face of the earth because it doesn't seem what I do, everything just always something goes wrong. So we got an issue, guys. So after putting the tires on and then axle, and I took it down the road to make sure it didn't shake, and I think I went a little bit too hard on her and might have hurt something. So y'all listen to this and tell me what you think down in the comments. but there's a slight knock to the motor now. I don't know if you can hear it, but definitely slight knock. I don't know if this is normal after a little break-in or what, but I can feel it in the unit. I do have solid motor mounts. I don't know if that's, you know, making me feel it more, but yeah, I knew that last lifter in the motor was iffy. I haven't checked yet to know if it's oiling properly, but we're going to take that off and we're going to check them. Hopefully they're good. If not, we got to take the whole head off and all that so that we can remove the lifters and replace them if need be. I'd rather do this before I end up, you know, breaking something else down the line, as in wiping out cam lobes and whatnot. I'd rather it be a lifter, because that's not super difficult to replace, and you can do it with the engine in the bike. So let's take that off. We'll see what's up, and hopefully we find that it is a lifter, and that'll take care of the little knockage. So let's take that off and see what we see. All right, guys, so got it all off. It takes a lot to get down to this, guys. That exhaust has to be removed and a bunch of other stuff. I didn't have to do the injectors and all that, but exhaust has to come off to get the valve cover off. Stupid. Anyway, I unplugged everything. Here we go. I know the starter don't like this, but it is what it is. We just kind of crank it. I took the plugs out. Oh, I see some squirting out of that. One on the left, not all the way to the left, but the other one. Come on, there she goes. Got a roll on that one. Come on, here's the other one. Waiting. Still waiting. Oh, there we go. The first 3 have oil. None on that last one, like I had, you know, said before. Now I'm getting squirted with oil. They still ain't got it on that last one. Oh! Oh! Okay, that didn't sound good. Ooh, yeah, guys. Ooh, that sounded bad. I hope it doesn't do that again. Okay, guys, so that was a horrible noise. I don't know if that was the starter or the Bendix. I'm hoping it's the starter. Oh my God. That better not be the Bendix. Oh, it better not be. Oh, I've bumped it once or twice since then, but it's not sounding good, guys. Might just be one more of them things that I gotta freaking deal with. So if that's messed up, the motor's gotta come out to change that. We'll see. Well, something isn't sounding quite right, but it ain't sounding like that no more. Uh-oh. Hopefully that's just the starter, and if it is, I have another one. We're gonna let that sucker cool down. But as you can see, nothing was coming out of here. So bare minimum, we gotta go take the head off so that we can get the lifters out. And that lifter, I'm sure, is probably chewed up. Or it at least needs to be replaced so that it'll oil. Hopefully that Bendix isn't destroyed. Oh my God, which I know that that's a problem with these. But anyway, we shall know something after it cools down and I try to crank it over one more time. Hopefully it doesn't make any noise. Anyway, I'll be back whenever I do that. All right, guys, so it's not looking good for me. So I have taken all this apart and I can move it by hand. If you see that, there's a lot of play in that crank. And nothing over here is going on as I'm moving that at all. So, oh, guys, it's just my luck, right? It looks like either the crank, the rods, hopefully it's just the cam, but regardless, something in the motor is not meshing right, because it shouldn't have that much play like that and have a clunk clunk going on in here. Something is not meshing properly. So, yeah, looks like I get to take this damn thing back out and go through it again. So here we go. All right, got the rockers and push rods removed. Polaris, it'd have been real nice if you made these holes big enough for a lifter to go in and out with a magnet. That'd have been real nice, but instead we gotta remove the head just to take lifters in and out. So I guess that's what we gotta do. But anyway, now that that's off, And when I try to grab this and go forward and back now, there's no more slack. Oh, so I got my fingers crossed. Hopefully it's not a crank issue, and I'd rather it just be lifters. We're hoping for lifters, guys, because I've just had horrible luck. And just to show you how bad my luck has been with this bike, because I've been working on this thing forever, it seems. This was the original cam and one of the lifters that got whopped when I first got this rig. So that's what it did to it. It concaved it. It's all like scooped in here and chipped up. Yeah, that's what these razors will do when the lifters fail. And here's the cam, and if you run them too long, this is what happens to the cam. There's the old cam lobe. So if my phone will focus, there you go. You can definitely see how ate up it is right here on the end. So that is, I believe, an intake valve. So that was the only one on this crank that was all tore up. And then, you know, I've had to go through this motor multiple times since then because of little issues or whatever, and it'd be this, that, or the other. And now, you know, we blew the crank, or not just now, but that's why I'm rebuilding it. All right, so we're ready to remove the head. So I'm gonna go ahead and knock that off there. Got it. We got that gasket. Hopefully we can reuse that. Put that sucker right dirt. All right, let's see. Let's look down in there what we got. I need to clean up them cylinders a little bit. But other than that, I'm about to start pulling some lifters, I guess. Let's see what this one in the back looks like. I'm hoping it's just lifters, guys. Hopefully. There we go. First lifter coming out. That's number one. I see some scarring. Lifter number two coming out. Hopefully. There we go. That one doesn't look bad. Oh, it better be a lifter. Here's number four. Well, I don't see any messed up lifters. I mean, this one doesn't look great or horrible either. It's got a little bit of maybe nothing. I don't know. It wasn't oiling, I know that. Well, looks like it might be further down. I don't know. So we'll have to continue to investigate and see what the problem is. Let me look. Hey, please don't be a cam. It may be. Why would it be that one again? I'll have to look at the cams closely. The cam and go from there. So I'm gonna have to spin this motor over a little bit, see what's going on. I don't know. Those don't look damaged. But anyway, I'll come back whenever I figure this out and I'll let you know what it is. All right, guys, so after further inspection of the cam lobes way down in there, I don't see anything. So we're looking at these lifters right here. The only thing I can really tell you or see is if you see right here, there is some wear. This was like this when it started. In the center of here, there's some, I can hit it with my fingernail a little bit. So this cam right here was wearing a little bad, it seems, and so did this one. This one has some scarring right here. So we're going to figure out something with these. I have a couple options. So I have a bunch of lifters for this unit sitting in this oil. And 3 of them are OEM Polaris, 1, 2, and 3. And then these 4 are all brand new cheap ones. So when I push down in the center of the cheap ones though, they're really squishy. So all the other ones, like the OEMs and most of those over there, are not squishy. So I may just throw a couple of the OEs in there. And also, just to go over this, so I have another head sitting here. When I busted this motor the last time I redid some stuff on it, it blew up, and I used this head. This head is off of a Ranger that came in with a blown motor. And I don't know if that head is whopped or not whopped, but it did blow up with that head on it the last time and messed up stuff. So I have this brand new head to me. I bought it used, but it came off of a known good used unit. And that's what it looks like under that. And that's, I don't think it's been cleaned up. And if you look at this one over here, and this only has a couple hours on it, literally, if that. And look how dark that is. Look how black that is. And then also, when I took this off, it had oil on the inner and outer of where the coolant was supposed to go. So I don't know if I was leaking oil somewhere. There's no oil that I can see in the coolant that I have seen yet. I haven't taken this off because it's holding pressure right now. But it may have had a bad head gasket. I don't know. But we are going to, like I said, swap some of these out and see if that fixes the issue. I don't feel it in the bottom end, so I'm not going to go any further into it than this. All right, guys, we got it out. We got this stuck stud. Well, it was a stud after they broke it out of this head. And, yeah, we're good. So it took a lot of effort, as you can see. I had to get creative over here. And I took a washer and a wing nut and welded it on that sucker, and was able to finally, after a bunch of banging and hitting and twisting and turning, get that sucker out. So that's out of here. Yay! I got these to clean up, get those back in, sensor back in, ripped a Quad Logic intake manifold boot off of the original old head that is trash. So this sucker can go on here, this newer head, newer to me. So we will clean this sucker up with warm soapy water, clean all the ports out, get it all ready to rock, get this all, make sure this is all clean, good to go. And then we will get the lifters out of the oil that are back that way, and then we will stick them in the motor and start reassembly. So here's my head cleaning setup. Got the head ready. I already cleaned it up just with regular brushes as good as I could in this warm soapy water. I got these brushes from Harbor Freight. These are a must when it comes to the head after getting these. Wish I'd have got them a long time ago, but they're almost like gun cleaning brushes, different sizes and different materials. And guys, they work amazing on anything round, or even if it's flat, you can just do that good stuff. Anyway, these are awesome, Harbor Freight. These Q-tips, yep, they come in clutch too. Definitely a must. And then all these little bitty brushes here, toothbrushes. I keep all kind of stuff, guys. So we're gonna use all this stuff here to get that all prepped and ready to rock. And while I do that, I'm going to keep warm with my little heater, because down in Louisiana right now, it got to like 32 last night, guys. And we are not built for the cold down here, especially not me. So anywho, we're going to continue on this, and then hopefully we'll have it on there when we come back. All right, y'all take a short break and give me a answer down in the comments section, if you could, please, if you know about the head gaskets for this motor. Why is it that there are multiple different styles and or thicknesses of the RZR 800 head gaskets? I'd love to know. This is a cheap Caltrix head gasket. It's like triple layered. It's thick, boy. It's thick. And I think that one was for like the 08 to 2010 models. I've heard you can use any of them. It doesn't matter. But this is what Rev 6 sent me. It's the same design as far as holes. And it, though, has 2 instead of 3. So these are what, when you look online, it shows that the S and the 2011s and up use. It's a single layer, and it has different hole setup. And I have like 3 of these suckers because I've rebuilt this motor a multitude of times. So, but every time I order a kit, it comes with a different freaking head gasket for whatever reason. So please let me know down in the comment box below, what head gaskets do y'all use? Do y'all use this style that has these slits here on the sides of the upper and lower middle? Or do y'all use these thin single layered that don't have those holes here and here and, you know, up there? So y'all let me know down below, please. I'd appreciate it. All right, guys, don't hate on me, please. I don't have another brand new head gasket. This head gasket was from Rev 6, and it was in there for literally like an hour and a half, 2 hours. So I painted it with the copper spray, and we are gonna either use this one or this Numera one that was still in good shape, that only was on the motor for a very brief period of time, and we got them both painted up. I'll flip this over after it's dried up a little bit. I got the heater over here kind of drying that paint, and I'll flip them, paint them, and then I'll choose, that's a thinner one, that's the double lipped one, and the other ones are in here. These are all used as well, very briefly. Even I got good base gaskets too. That copper stuff, man, it works great. I'm gonna coat it up and it should be good. So anywho, now we can move on to the lifters. I've got these soaking, whichever one or two of these I'm going to use. I'm going to soak them a little bit as well. And then I'm using these 1, 2, and 3, or 1 and 2, whatever. Those are the Polaris OEM ones that were still good, in good shape. They've been in oil for a couple days now, actually. So I'm going to drop those suckers down up in that motor. And then we can throw the head back on with one of those gaskets and start cranking her down to torque, and then we will put the rockers and push rods in and see if there's any more slack after that. We may have to tear it back apart and swap head gaskets. So the thickness of the head gasket is going to determine how much pressure the push rod and rocker push down on the lifter. So the thicker the gasket, the less it pushes, I guess, or the more clearance it could have, whatever, or the thinner the gasket, the more it pushes down, and I guess more compression as well. Maybe that's why the 2011 or 10s and ups, or 11s and up, have the one single layer gasket instead of the double or triple. So I don't know. We'll figure that out if somebody will message me down in the comment section and tell me what's up with these damn head gaskets and everything. That would be greatly appreciated. When I come back, that's going to be on, and we're going to know for sure. All right, so it's torque time. I got that copper-coated gasket on there. We got the head on, and I've snugged these down to 35 foot-pounds. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you let it sit for a minute, and then you go an additional 90 degrees. So, and then you should be torqued to spec. And I watched D. Ray Smith's YouTube rebuild on these motors because it's a really good one to watch. And he's really detailed with everything. So, thanks D. Ray Smith YouTube channel. But anyway, so we got this. We're about to do a 90 degree, and then it should be good to go. And then we'll put the lifters, the rocker and the push rods in it. And then hopefully it'll be good. I may or may not have to change that starter. I don't think it's the Bendex that was making the noise. So hopefully, I got my fingers crossed. Once I put all this back together, everything should be nice and tight. Well, let's see. Here we go. All right, got the rockers and push rods in. We're all snuck down, tightened up, good to go, guys. So let's check it out with this new head and lifters. If we got rid of the slack this had. Let's see. Yep, no more slack, guys. No more play back and forth in the crank or in the whole system here. So apparently we had an issue somewhere, but I think we took care of it. Heck yeah! Still got my fingers crossed though, guys. Don't get too excited yet. So at this point, I can start throwing everything back on, putting all the coolant lines back on, and get it ready to start. So here we go. Well, here we go again, guys. So after assembling it, after cranking it, after breaking the starter that made that weird noise earlier in the video, yeah, we're not getting oil to one of the other lifters now. So let me show you here. So we're getting oil here first. That was good. We're getting oil here, and we're getting oil up in the front. But this one here is not getting oil for some reason. So I'm not going to just reach in there and try and spin it and cross my fingers and hope it's going to start oil and just out of the blue. So we're gonna have to now remove the head again, once again, and we're going to change that one lifter, and we're not gonna touch the other lifters, and hope to God it works this time. Here's the other starter I had to put in there. I also had to put new seals on it because they were whopped. So now, you know, like I said, we're gonna take that back off. I'm glad I didn't hook anything back up, and we're going to go ahead and put one of these here lifters. I'm gonna make damn sure it's good before I even put it in the machine, and we're gonna go from there. Here we go. All right, got the cylinder all cleaned up, ready for the head and the gasket. Here's the head gasket I'm gonna use. It's gonna be the thinner one because that's what I have ready to go. So, yep, the head over here is all cleaned up, ready to go. And I changed not one, but two lifters. I changed 3 Rev 6 and 1 Polaris, I think, in there. 3 of the Rev 6 ones were oiling just fine. Hopefully everything's gonna be good. There's a bunch of oil down there from that base gasket. Hopefully it did not rip. I'm gonna have to check that. Let's see. Doesn't look like it. Thank God. All right. So we're gonna reuse that base gasket again and hope, you know, everything seals up right. Here we go. All right, guys, so here we go. We got oil on all of them now, babe. They're all fitting. So we're good to go. Yeah, buddy. All right, no more slack in the clutch still. I had to use that thinner gasket. Hopefully it doesn't hold open any valves being so thin, but we're gonna run it because they're all oiling, and I'm tired of putting this thing together and taking it apart so many damn times. It seems good, so let's get her buttoned back up so we can test it out. Getting closer. Yeah, boy. I put the blue RTV over here on this intake manifold boot. That should be dried up by tomorrow, and we'll be able to throw the intake and the air box on it, exhaust on it, and crank it after we fill it with a little coolant. And we'll see what she sounds like then, guys. So I'll see y'all tomorrow when I'm installing this stuff. All right, so it's the next day. Got everything all hooked up, ready to rock. Coolant's in it. Let's go ahead and start it and see what she sounds like. Well, prime that again. Let's see if she'll run. Oh ho ho! Watching the cooling, and after it goes through heat cycle, we're going to kill him. I'll come back when we shut it back down. All right, guys, so got the belt box in, got the seats back in, bars in, changed the battery, and of course it needs a charge. So that's what I'm doing now. Once that's done, I'll be able to crank her up, start it up, keep it revved throughout the RPM range, even when it's sitting still, and we will go for a load test down the road and see what she does. Hopefully it doesn't make the noise anymore. If you go and listen to the sound, you know, video of when I showed you what it was making the noise, and then now there is a huge difference. No sound at all now. I'm very excited about that. So we're going to, like I said, once that charges up, we're going to start her up and hit the road. So here we go. All right, guys, here we go. I got it warmed up. We're going. Here we go. We in neutral. And I said, whether it does something or not, we running until it blows up. We ain't gonna be able to do full tests or do any clutch testing right now because, yeah, we're in braking. So we're gonna have to wait a little while, guys. Sorry. We'll do that at a later date. we're back in the shop. It's been sitting for a minute, but I started up. I don't hear the noise anymore, which is a great thing. So we got that part figured out and fixed. So the lifters were the problem, I do believe, and we got all that done. Guys, I gotta say, if y'all are still watching at this point, thank y'all so much. Really appreciate it. I know it's been a long one. Thanks for sticking with me. We're almost done with this one, I promise, because, you know, it's been too long already. But anyway, real quick, while I was driving it, I noticed a couple things, and I'm gonna tell you what I noticed. So, at mid throttle and like going kind of fast, it's at like almost 6,000 RPM, and I'm at like maybe 40 mile an hour. So I'm thinking now that the motor's running properly, I'm gonna have to change those clutch weights in that mother clutch there back to the 72s, because the ones on it are a little too light, I believe. I need to be at a little bit lesser RPM at that level. So we're gonna throw these in it. Also, I figured out why it won't hold an alignment properly, because those lower ball joints are whopped. They got a lot of play in them, and they need to be changed. So, you know, I have two Polarises, so of course I've got buku ball joints laying around. So I got a whole pack of some new wings, I got some old wings, I got all kind of, you know, I got a whole box full of ball joints, motor mounts, brake pad, you know. Anyway, so we're gonna change ball joints in the front. And there's one other thing I do believe. Yeah. I can't remember it right now, but that'll all be in another video. Oh yeah, what it was I changed the relay. And just so y'all know, hey, you can use a Can-Am relay in this. Just so you know, it does work. I borrowed one from the Renegade till my relays got in, but they came in and I put it in there and that's fixed. And if it continues to run good, guys, we're gonna do the ball joints in the next vid, along with the clutch, I guess, and go ahead and put this sucker all the way back together after I put a couple more miles on her, and we're gonna call it good. I hope. Got my fingers crossed. Sorry, we're not gonna be able to do the clutch comparisons and whatnot right now, but I am seeing that, you know, with these lighter weights, you will get a higher RPM at a slower speed, obviously. So I need a little bit higher. Anyway, so we're gonna tackle all that in the next vid, and we got the Can-Am motor over there chilling. I'm still waiting on some parts for that. I got the transmission over there hanging out, waiting to go back in the bike. I need to get some motor mounts done up for it and figure that out. Once I do, we should be able to get this one also going and get it thrown back in the Renegade, which will be in another video as well. So once I remove that bolt there and get all my parts, I'll be hopping back on this one if this thing will stop giving me issues. So, but anyway, guys, till the next video, if y'all would, please hit that like and subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, and I'll see y'all next time.